Good morning, everyone. Please stand if you are able and sing our opening song. Welcome to our community. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome to our community. You're not a stranger anymore. Now you're family. Welcome, welcome to our community. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome to our community. You're not a stranger anymore. Now you're family. You're not a stranger anymore. Now you're family.
Good morning. It's good to be back. It's hard to be gone. So many of you have heard little blips and pieces about my 3 weeks away, but it's always good to come home. So let's join in our tradition of sharing the signs and words of God's peace with those around you, beginning by saying them together. Shalom.
Shalom.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Paz.
Paz.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.
All right. Greet a few of your neighbors. Peace. Paz. Paz. Peace. As most of you know, I'm Reverend Vicki Elder, and on this first Sunday of Pride Month, it's my joy and honor to welcome you to Unity of Monterey Bay, a beloved community co-created with love and intention that welcomes all people, all races, nationalities, cultures, and religions. Whatever your immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, family configuration, and or abilities. Whether you're here with us in person or joining us virtually, we know that love knows no boundaries. We are one in spirit. As a purpose-driven church, Unity of Monterey Bay is an inclusive spiritual community committed to co-creating an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just, and compassionate human presence on this planet. We celebrate our oneness and honor the God of each of our understanding, affirming the innate good and divine essence within each and every individual. Will you please join me in our statement of faith? There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, expressing as infinite God beyond us, intimate God beside us, inner God being us, divine love in action. And as we allow this knowing to deepen within our souls and serve to awaken us into enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings, we share this UU, which is, now I'm blanking, Unitarian Universalist blessing for visibility and belonging. Spirit of life and love, we honor visibility, healing, identity, and belonging. May we continue creating sacred spaces where people feel seen, safe, and celebrated exactly as they are. May we always remember that every person is deserving of love, dignity, and community today and every day. And please join me in our affirmation as we affirm together. Thank you, God, for this most amazing day. Miracle follows miracle, and wonders never cease. It's the first Sunday of June, which means it's birthday Sunday. So anybody who has a June birthday, come on up. If you missed your birthday Sunday in the last couple months, come on up and get all that love and blessing. Wow.
Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you
Receiving. It's called receiving. So before we continue, we have a message from Denise. As you can see here, she says, a huge thank you to the UMB community for your prayers, cards, gifts, meals, flowers, healing hugs, love, and support during my recovery. Go to the next slide. I am grateful for Sue and our fabulous music team for leading music. I know, but I'm reading it, and I just wanted time for them to see all the other. These are a lot of pictures. For leading music during the Sunday services. I look forward to returning as soon as possible. Keep those well wishes coming. I miss you and love you all. So you can see a sampling. She sent me all these pictures. She said, I want to say thank you, and here are all the pictures to get in the PowerPoint. And so she is healing well, and a number of you have seen her. I haven't had a chance to yet, but we've been talking. So we're grateful for her healing and for Walter's healing and John's back healing. And Howard is waiting for his surgery. So we see that coming and in divine order as well. And fortunately, God knows our needs and our prayers even before we speak them. So if I haven't named you and you're just feel that healing energy flowing in and around you always. And as we do every week, we now celebrate and bless the children, all those in our families and our spiritual community, as well as our larger community, all the children in the world, as well as our own inner child. We open our hearts wide and we see them protected and resilient, creative and evolving, joyous and loved as we join in our heartfelt blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are.
This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And now, taking a deep breath in and letting it out with an audible sigh, we center ourselves to embrace this blissful interconnection with Spirit and invite the chime to call us into this sacred space within. We ring the chime 4 times to call in the 4 directions and remind us of our interconnection with all of creation and with the sacred circle of life. As we feel it resonate through our very beings, we follow its call into this now present moment within. Continuing to focus on our breath, with each inhale we open our hearts and minds. We envision our breath reaching every cell of our being, and with each exhale, we see all barriers and obstacles dissolving into the divine flow. Again, as we inhale, we expand the spaciousness within us. We move beyond the limitations and boundaries of our bodies, and as we exhale, we ground ourselves deep within Mother Earth and into our oneness with the universe. Finally, we breathe our awareness into the highest expression of love, light, joy, and peace we can imagine as we experience a transforming wave of gratitude, and with a fullness of heart, we say yes to it all, embracing, claiming, and knowing the divine Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. And with a final exhale, we say thank you, God. Now fully centered and transformed by the power of Spirit, we enter into our lesson and meditation time with today's daily word.
We read from the June 9th Daily Word, shared with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word, that can also be found at dailyword.com. And the word is bliss. I walk a path of purpose and find my bliss. If I'm contemplating how to find my bliss, to know what makes my soul shine and my heart sing, it's time to pray and follow my heart where it leads. If I am inspired by these words of philosopher and theologian Howard Thurman. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. My bliss is the meeting point of my joy, peace, and purpose. It is the pursuit that gives me a deep sense of purpose. It makes me feel alive and most in sync with the divine rhythm that animates and enlivens me. I find new joy as I approach each day with intention. I follow my heart, live my purpose, and find my bliss. And from the scriptures, happy are those whose strength is in you. Psalms chapter 84, verse 5.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your eyes and see. We can all have all that we need without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. We can all have all that we need without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
In witness to the wisdom of the many paths to the sacred, we read from 4 sacred traditions on this morning's topic, the rituals that sustain us. From the African traditional religions, let us do it the way it is usually done, so that we may have the usual result. From Hinduism, those who, knowing my true nature, worship me steadfastly are my true devotees. Worship me in the symbols and images which remind you of me, and also in the hearts of my devotees, where I am most manifest. Observe the forms and rituals set forth in the scriptures, without losing sight of their inner spirit. From Judaism, Speak to the Israelites and say to them, these are my appointed festivals, the appointed festivals of the Lord, which you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies. And from Christianity, the Lord Jesus, on the night when he was betrayed, he took bread. And when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, this is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me. In the same way, also the cup, after supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 through 25.
There is sadness, there is an aching. Don't try to erase it, embrace it. There is beauty, there is joy. Don't try to retain it, radiate it. We see the pieces and we forget that there is a wholeness. That's what we are. There is anger, there is anxiety. Don't try to erase it, embrace it. There is laughter, there is love. Don't try to retain it, radiate it. We see the pieces and we forget that there is a wholeness. That's what we are. There is jealousy, there is loneliness. Don't try to erase it, embrace it. There is compassion, there is peace. Don't try to retain it, radiate it. We see the pieces and we forget that there is a wholeness. That's what we are. Embrace it, radiate it, embrace it.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Yeah? Good. Isn't it great to have Vicki back with us? Yay! So I want to start this morning with a question. And my question to you is, what do you think of when you hear the word ritual? Does it make you think of religion or religious practice? A candles and incense? Does it take you back maybe to the church that you attended when you were growing up? Does the word ritual have positive connotations for you or negative ones? Anyone? Positive? Okay. Do you think, when you hear the word ritual, do you think of sacredness and deep meaning, or do you think of rigidity and rote repetition? So, y'all are a little quiet today. There are many, many different kinds of rituals, of course, and rituals can be religious or not, right? Rituals can actually hold a very important place in human life. If you have negative feelings about the word ritual at all, it may be that the rituals you grew up with were stifling, or they had lost their meaning for you, or you just it didn't feel authentic. But the truth is that rituals can be anything we want them to be. And we can create our own rituals that have meaning for us, as well as participating in collective or communal rituals. Perhaps you already have more ritual in your life than you realize. For example, do you have a morning routine? Is there like a special way that you get up and you go and make your coffee? Maybe you have a meditation or prayer time or read the daily word? Or have some sort of devotional or meditation time in the morning? That's just one type of ritual, but perhaps you have other rituals that you didn't even realize were rituals, or you didn't think of as rituals. So rituals can be things that we do daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, and they can be simple or very elaborate. They can involve spiritual or religious elements or not. But I wonder if you've ever thought about rituals as being a key part of living a more beautiful life. And if you've missed the last 2 weeks, we've been using this wonderful book, A More Beautiful Way to Live, by Bethany Wilkinson. We're going to be wrapping it up today, and she's been talking about all these different ways to incorporate these things into our lives to live a more beautiful life. And rituals is part of that. Many of us came to Unity because we were in part dissatisfied with the kinds of rituals that the religious traditions of our upbringing had, right? They didn't feel like they represented us or our beliefs anymore. And maybe those rituals felt confining or limiting, too dogmatic. We were looking for something maybe more open, less rigid, less structured. But do you realize that we do, in fact, have many rituals in Unity? What about our statement of faith that we say at the beginning of the service? Or reading the daily word at every service? Those are rituals. And we have even more elaborate rituals than that. Think about our winter solstice celebration service. Think about our burning bowl service at New Year's. Think about the communion service that we do at Thanksgiving and Easter. Or the Day of the Dead remembrance ceremony when we light candles for our loved ones. Even our Pride Sunday service has become a ritual with the glitter ceremony that we started last year. That has become a ritual for us. All of these things are rituals. Now, the ones I just mentioned are corporate rituals or collective rituals. But as I mentioned, we also have our own individual rituals. So I'd like to invite you today, as we talk about rituals, to begin to expand your idea of what rituals are and the role that they play in our lives. If you have any negative or indifferent perception when you think of rituals, I invite you to open to the possibility that rituals may play a more important role in your life than you realize. And I wonder if you might even open to the idea of creating rituals for yourself and for your family. That can become a source of deep meaning, comfort, and transformation. So I want to tell you a little story, of course, about something that happened to me recently that may help you understand this expanded idea of what rituals can be. As you know, our dear Sylvia Zach made her transition a few weeks ago. And I facilitated like a little memorial for her with the folks at Church of the Wild. And then a couple weeks ago, and then last week in church, we had a slide with some pictures of her, and I kind of did like a little mini eulogy for her. And the reason I did this is first because I knew that Sylvia had not had any burial service or anything like that because she didn't have any family members nearby, and I wanted her to have that. But also because I know how important it is for us to take the time to mark the ending of someone's life that was part of our church. It's important, right? And to honor the collective loss that we experience when someone in our community dies. So those sort of, you could call them rituals that I did, were meant to help us process the loss and any grief, as well as to honor our memories of Sylvia in a communal way. But in both cases, I had been facilitating those experiences rather than participating in them myself. This is something I'm learning about ministry. But I hadn't realized that yet. Then earlier this week, I had started feeling really overwhelmed by a number of things, and I decided to take a self-care day. What do you suppose a self-care day looks like for me? To the forest I go, right? To my beloved redwoods. So I went to Aptos, to Nicene Marks, to have a lovely hike in the forest. But as I was walking along, maybe about 30 minutes or so into my hike, I started feeling all these emotions bubbling up in me. I think it's because that's one of my safe spaces, right? So my nervous system started feeling like it was okay to let those feelings come up. And then when I got to a particularly beautiful and special part of the forest that I love a lot, the trail meanders through the trees along the creek, and right now everything is green from the rains, and there's ferns, and it's just so lush and beautiful. And I started feeling tears welling up. I looked up at the trees, of course, and I felt them indicate to me that it was okay for me to feel my feelings. You know, they were saying, we can handle it. You can have your feelings here. We can contain that. And so I slowed my walk down, and I just let the tears come. And in that moment, out of nowhere, Sylvia popped into my mind. I hadn't even been thinking about her. And I realized in that moment that at least some of those tears were for Sylvia. That I'd been so busy helping others mark her death that I hadn't really taken the time to feel the loss myself. But suddenly, out of the blue, Sylvia was like there with me, right? I could feel her. So I gave myself permission to feel that loss. And as I was slowly walking along, I suddenly felt the strangest urge telling me to, I felt this strange urge to stop and pick up a stick and write the name Sylvia in the dirt. I was like, where'd that come from? You know, it literally just came to me. I can only assume that that was Sylvia communicating with me, at least that's my interpretation, knowing how good Sylvia was at asking for what she wanted and needed, and that was something that many of us shared that we loved about her. And so I could practically hear her voice in my head. Now, I don't do accents well, but she had a sweet southern accent. I could practically hear her saying, Michelle, I would really like to have my name written in the dirt on this forest floor in this beautiful place. Could you hear her saying that? I totally could hear her saying that. So I hesitated. I was like looking around, you know, but it was insistent. So I said, okay, I can do that. So I stopped and I picked up a stick that was right there, and I sort of cleared away a spot, and I wrote Sylvia in the dirt. And then I added a leaf and some lichen to make it look pretty. And then I stood back and I looked at it, and it was just so beautiful. As I shared last week, Sylvia was very connected to the trees and the forest, and in fact, her name, Sylvia, actually means forest. And I knew she would love what I had done. And I thought, but that's so simple. That's nothing big, you know. She should have had a memorial, a celebration of life. And then the thought immediately came to me, no, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. I decided to take a picture of it so that I could remember it and share it with others that I thought would appreciate it. And so after taking a few photos and sort of standing there for a few moments, I thanked Sylvia for her friendship and her presence and the impact she made on all of us at the church. And then I had in that moment a sense that Sylvia would be in ongoing communication with me in some way. That she'd be like a sort of, I don't know, a guiding angel, someone on the other side that I could communicate with. And so I thanked her for her guidance, her ability to ask for what she wanted and needed. And I thanked her for guiding me to do this simple little ritual that I could already feel was helping me tremendously in processing the grief of her loss. As I went on with the rest of my hike and the rest of my day, I was just struck by how effortlessly and beautifully I had been guided to do this simple but meaningful and profound ritual. And I thought about how important these small rituals are that we do in our lives. And what do you know, today's topic was already supposed to be about rituals. So Sylvia gave me a spiritual gift and a sermon. Thanks, Sylvia. She was a giver. Rituals are so important for us as human beings. And my experience in the forest this past week taught me that rituals do not have to be complicated. They don't have to be long or elaborate or involve all kinds of planning or props. Although those types of rituals have their place also. Think about our Christmas story that we tell every year. And every year we put out the Christmas decorations and we light the candles. That's our ritual. You see, rituals, they derive their meaning not from anything outside of us, but from within us, right? From our own deeply human sense of the sacred. A ritual is a sacred practice, not because a priest or other religious authority says so, but because we make it so. We humans are fully capable of creating our own sacred moments and of making sacred rituals all by ourselves, because it is part of what makes us human. Human beings have been engaging in rituals since the dawn of humanity. We know this because we have archaeological finds and other things, right? Early humans fashioned simple figures out of clay or stone. They lit fires and candles. They burned special herbs. They danced in circles and sang. They beat drums. Think of Stonehenge, or the ancient Mayas, where Vicki just came back from, the Egyptian pyramids, Native American rain dances and things like that. All over the world, human beings have always created rituals that held deep meaning for them and that sustained their lives. Rituals serve so many purposes. They can help us to mark an important moment in time or in the life of a person. Think of like a bar mitzvah or a quinceañera. They can help us grieve our losses, such as with a memorial or a celebration of life or a scattering of ashes. Rituals can help us navigate the changes of life and to flow more easily with the seasons of the earth, like the solstice celebration that we have on the darkest day of the year, right? Or Chinese New Year. All of these are so important. But there are also simple daily rituals that we all have that serve another purpose, which is to ground us in our daily lives, to make us aware of the sacred, to help us mark the passage of time, whether from one day to another or one season to another. Those simple rituals, they connect us to our inner rhythms as well as to the rhythms of the earth. They stabilize and center us in our own lives. In short, these rituals sustain us. That morning coffee and meditation ritual that you have, it helps you mark the beginning of a new day. It prepares you for what's ahead. Maybe you have an evening or nighttime ritual. That helps prepare you for sleep. Now, you may not think of these as rituals, but I invite you to consider the possibility that they are rituals and that they are important in your life. For many cultures, such as the ancient Mexicas, and if you recall, Mexica, I'm trying to use that word now because it's the decolonialized name for the Aztecs. It's the name they called themselves. For the Mexicas, rituals marking the end of each day and the rising of the sun were extremely important. The sacredness of any ritual comes from the meaning it has for us. We make it sacred by our observance of it. So who's to say what's sacred or not? We are, right? We are. She's not here today, but for many years, Pat Westcott has had a beautiful morning ritual where she would pick a flower and walk down to Cannery Row and then choose someone to give that flower to. And she would give them like a little blessing with it. Then she'd spend time by the ocean, and she did this every day. It was a sacred ritual for her, and I have no doubt that that simple ritual impacted many, many people over the years. Now that she's moved to a new place and she's getting settled in, I trust that she will find a way to create a new daily ritual for herself that will give her meaning and help her mark that sacred gift of each new day. As I said, many of us came to Unity looking for something less rigid, perhaps less ritualized, but that doesn't mean we have to give up rituals. What we need to do is rethink our rituals and recreate them so that they have meaning for us in our lives now. And then as we open up more to this idea of rituals over time, we may find that we even are longing for some of the old rituals from our childhood. They take on a new meaning, and sometimes we want to bring some of those things back. Rituals do not have to be rigid or limiting. They should be open, creative, evolving, changing and adapting to our own needs so that they continue to have meaning for us and help us on our path. Some rituals, like the little one I did for Sylvia, are meant to mark special occasions and to process events in our lives. But other rituals are just part of our daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly routine. So the author of our book, Bethany Wilkinson, talks about what a big impact these simple daily rituals can have on our lives. They keep us tethered to who we are and to what's important to us. They also have the power to set the tone for our whole day. Think about small rituals, how they can impact the kind of day you have. Now, Wilkinson at this point suggests that not all rituals are good rituals, but they're rituals nonetheless. So she sort of fessed up that she, in fact, has some morning rituals that may not be the best, such as checking her emails immediately upon waking up. That sort of negative ritual allows outside forces to invade her freshly awakened self and set the tone for her whole day. So she's looking at that, right? Or checking her social media every hour to see if there's anything new. Again, that little ritual, which I'm familiar with, gives a great deal of power to other people and to outside forces to influence the kind of day we're going to have or are having. I know Vicky's been experimenting with this, with having a good hour of no phone time after awakening. So it's not to say that you have to change those particular rituals if you have them. It's just about becoming mindful of the rituals that we have that we may not be aware of, but they're rituals nonetheless. And, checking to see whether those are ones that we want to continue, whether they are conducive to living a more beautiful life. Healthy, positive, life-affirming, and uplifting daily rituals, especially the ones we do in the morning or the early part of the day, they can go a long way towards setting a positive outlook and tone and perspective for our whole day. Does anybody have a morning ritual that they do that sets the tone? I'm not a morning person, but I'm starting to slowly adopt a morning little meditation and affirmation time. And I think it does. It has an effect on me. So in the book, she gives us a lot of ideas about simple rituals that we can incorporate into our life. And she divides these into daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly rituals. So for daily rituals, she suggests that we try to incorporate slow time and movement. Okay, so slow time we've been talking a lot about. This is a time when you slow down and you get present in the moment. This could be prayer and meditation. It could be journaling. It could be simply sitting quietly or doing some sort of self-reflecting activity. But the point is to slow down and take time to get connected with our bodies and with what we're calling right now during this series, our inner terrain. We talked about this last week. So it's checking out what's here today. What emotions are here? What am I feeling? What's going on with me? Just taking some time to get connected to ourselves. It helps to build that self-awareness that gives us the beauty of choice, right? When we're aware, we can make choices about what we want to do. Movement, I know many of you do things involving movement. It could be anything, but she's saying we need to do this every day. Yoga, stretching, walking, dancing, anything that gets us moving our bodies and gets us connected in our bodies. So obviously movement is healthy for us, it's good for our bodies, but it also helps us become more embodied, which we've been talking about, being more grounded and aware of our bodies, so that we're in our bodies and we're not just checked out and all over the place. Movement, I find, can also bring clarity. I get great ideas when I'm working out or hiking or lifting weights. All the oxygen to the brain, man, I start getting really creative ideas. It can give us clarity and focus, and it's a great stress reliever. For weekly rituals, she recommends that each week we do something involving community and something involving some kind of play. Now, community could be what we do here every week. We've already got it done, right? But not everyone has found this wonderful resource. And you may have other communities outside of church. So this doesn't have to be church, but it could be any organization, something that meets weekly. Community is so important, as you all know, or you wouldn't be here, right? But it gets us connected with other people. It allows us to receive support and to give support to others. It also brings a certain accountability. Like when you're at home by yourself, you're not really accountable to anyone, maybe your cat or your dog or whatever. But when you're with other people, we start to bump up against each other, and there's that accountability of, and also it strengthens our interpersonal skills when we're in community. It gives us that sense of belonging, and it's the antidote for loneliness. Play, of course, is just what it sounds like, right? Time spent doing things just for the fun of it. How many people do this? Something just for the fun of it that doesn't have some other motivation. Could be a hobby like scrapbooking or quilting. Where's my quilter? Could be playing games with friends. It could be time spent playing with your pet. Could be doing puzzles or arts and crafts. Whatever it is for you. Even watching a sport. I know Vicki loves to go. So a lot of you love to go to sporting events. Things that you do with other people are great. And playtime gives us a chance to it gives us permission to go back and revisit some of those things we loved as children. Can you give yourself permission for that? I got a pair of rollerblades building up a lot of dust in my garage. I don't think I've been on them in at least 10 years. I know. Well, I used to go no pads or anything, but I think now I'll be all padded up like a mummy. I miss it, though. I miss it. But you're right. I definitely, next week I come in on crutches. It was fun while it lasted. No. That's not going to happen. Cancel. Oh, so we get to be like children, and that is so good for us. And you don't need to have a reason. Play is good for us. Vicki's done lots of talks about play and laughter and how important. If you have children to do these things with, even better, right? Because children teach us how to do that. And so these daily and weekly rituals, they help us to live life more fully and vibrantly and playfully, and they can bring a rhythm to our days. I've been an every Sunday attender at this church for 30 years now. And It is my ritual. So, I mean, even long before I ever went to seminary or anything, Sundays are church. I used to meet my girlfriend here every Sunday. Sundays are for church. And after Sundays are for going and getting breakfast. That's a ritual. And that ritual kept me grounded for years. Don't underestimate the gift that you're giving yourself by coming here every week. There's also monthly and yearly rituals. And these types of rituals are important because they give us a chance to look back and reflect, as well as make plans and set intentions for the future. So for monthly rituals, she recommends spiritual direction, which I'll talk about in a second, and a gratitude practice. Now, spiritual direction, I'm not an expert on describing what this is, but it's basically meeting with a person who is trained to hold space for others to share their feelings, their spiritual questions and reflections and ideas. So it's not a counselor. It could be a minister, but not necessarily. And actually, Unity has, in the past couple of years, started a training program for spiritual directors. So they now have a database of folks who have finished their program and are available for spiritual direction. But you can find them in lots of other places. And it doesn't have to be that, but it's that checking in periodically with someone. That's something that I would like to add to my life that I don't have going on right now that I think would be really great. And then, of course, a gratitude practice. Now, we express gratitude all the time because it's fun and it feels good, right? But she suggests every month sort of looking back and just mindfully making note of what went well in that month and what you're grateful for. It helps to mark the time that a month has ended and a new month is beginning. For annual practices, she recommends two things: a practice of letting go and a practice of spending some quality time dreaming. Okay? Now, interestingly, we do both of these in our New Year's burning bowl ritual. We do both of those things. And I think most Unity folks are pretty well versed in letting go because it's kind of a thing for us, right? But annually, it's like a cleaning up, right? Looking back at what do I need to let go of from last year and not drag into the new year with me, right? And then spending some time visioning. What do I want for myself? Like if we're so busy all the time, we never stop to do that, we lose sight of things that maybe are important to us, but we just get so caught up in the dailiness of our lives. It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate thing, but just spending some time. She recommends, if you can, going to a retreat or, going somewhere where you're uninterrupted for a few hours or even a day or two, and just really spending some time getting in touch with your dreams, your visions, those longings, those nudgings that we talked about last week. What is it that I want in my life? What is left still undone? Does that make sense? Yeah. So over the past 3 weeks, we've looked at various elements of what the author Bethany Wilkinson calls a more beautiful way to live. We began with the overarching framework of the 3 things that she says can help live us a more beautiful life. Oh, click. Being grounded. Being present. Receiving and accepting the life we've been given. So this is the overarching sort of the 3 main ideas of what makes for a beautiful life. Today we've also looked at specific ways of achieving those things, right? We looked at the practices of getting connected with our bodies, embracing slow time. Remember Mr. Sloth? We had a picture of a sloth to help us understand slow time. Awakening to our own inner terrain, really getting to know what's going on inside us and connecting. And then listening to our longings. Okay? Today we looked at the importance of rituals and how they help tether us and give rhythm to our lives, help process our emotions, as well as the inevitable changes that come up in life and transitions that are a part of life. Those rituals that really help sustain our lives and help connect us to the sacred. So my hope is that after wrapping up this series, we won't all forget everything we learned. And I'm going to try to sort of periodically bring these ideas back if I can incorporate them into other topics to remind us. But my hope is that we can support one another in doing some of these things, especially the slowing down and getting in touch with ourselves. I think those are the most important ones. But we can check in with each other. Did you play this week? Did you slow down? Did you be a sloth? For just a little while, be a sloth? So that we can learn to make these small changes that can help us to live with more presence and more peace. Isn't that what we want? And that the practices that we have explored in creating a more beautiful life for ourselves will truly help us to connect us more deeply to ourselves, to the God of our own understanding, and with the deep purpose and meaning that I know each and every one of us has for our lives. Blessings.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So we have an opportunity now to do a couple of these things by getting present and getting grounded in our bodies, embracing that slow time. So just, I invite you to bring your awareness into your body. Just check in with yourself and see what's here with you this morning. What emotions or sensations, discomfort, whatever is here, see if you can just let it be there. Let it be welcome, included, not resisted, but just let it be just as it is. Listening to the sounds around you can help ground you into this present moment. So what sounds can you hear close by? And what sounds can you hear far away? And now bringing your attention to rest on your breath. Deepening your breath so that you're breathing deep into your belly on the inhale. Exhaling slowly and feeling that sense of release and letting go. Breathing in through the nose. Sighing it out through the mouth. Dropping your shoulders. Unclenching your jaw. letting yourself sink a little more deeply into the pew beneath you. And now I invite you to begin to rest your awareness in your heart space. This place at the center of us that holds so much wisdom. And I'm going to begin now to drop some meditations into the heart space that will support us in anchoring and remembering these teachings that we've been exploring for the past weeks on how to live a more beautiful life. So you can just listen to me say the affirmations or repeat them to yourself. I am at home in my body. I am safe, grounded, and at peace. When I slow down the pace of my life, I have the opportunity to connect more deeply with myself. By slowing down and grounding, I begin to get to know the shape of my own inner terrain. I listen to the longings of my heart and use wisdom to discern which longings I should follow. I create sacred moments for myself that anchor me and sustain me in my life. I take time to notice the beauty that is all around me, and I let it inspire me and point me toward my purpose. Day by day, moment by moment, I am learning a more beautiful way to live. So I invite you now to just receive those affirmations into the heart space as you rest for a few moments in the silence. Day by day, moment by moment, I am learning a more beautiful way to live.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So just preparing now to gently release this time. And as we come back to this place and this time, we do so with our hearts filled with gratitude for these teachings, for this time spent together, for this sacred now moment, and for this community that meets us where we are and supports us on our journey. And so we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
hard to break that energy. Unity of Monterey Bay is the collective consciousness and commitment of all of us who give of our time, treasure, and talent in order to sustain the spiritual community that is dedicated to transforming lives. We know that prosperity is a state of mind that finds blessings in every situation and abundance in joyous generosity. We transform all appearances of fear or lack into faith-filled peace of mind by shifting our attention to thoughts of gratitude for the abundance of God's good in our lives. As the ushers please come forward, I invite you to think of something specific that you are grateful for in this now moment. Thank you, Michelle. That was an awesome series. Sometimes we got to sloth it. Just got to sloth it. Slow down with the sloth. And now, with our hearts and minds overflowing with gratitude, we breathe into the divine flow of God's good, trusting that we are enough, that we have enough, and that there always is enough to both have and share. For those of you who give online through our website, have set up monthly auto payments from your bank, or give by credit card, we are truly grateful. We ask that you join us in faith and gratitude as we pass the baskets this morning by holding and blessing the basket as it passes to you. And now, please join me in our offertory blessing. I am an open channel for God's infinite good. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies everything I give and everything I receive. I am both blessed and a blessing. Thank you, God.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're on our way down, we might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let that stand in your way, 'cause anyone knows that love is the only road. And since we're only here for a while, we might as well show some style. Give us a smile, isn't it a lovely ride? Sliding down, gliding down, try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. some kind of lovely ride. I'll be sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride? See me sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
We love us some James Taylor. Next, I'm going to be belting out Fire and what is it? Fire and Rain. Oh, I was going to say Fire and Ice. So it is with great joy that we bless and give thanks for these gifts and offerings that demonstrate our collective commitment to the spiritual work of love and transformation in our lives and in our world. We dedicate this offering, our lives, and this ministry to more fully expressing the Christ light that is the truth of our being and inviting all people to know God's love. Finally, knowing that one with God, all things are possible, we affirm together that the good is now, the rest is blessed, and the best is yet to be in our lifetime. Gently, slothfully. Maybe we could have sayings that we say to each other like sloth it out. Or like sloth out. Sloth on. Sloth on, dude. Oh my goodness. For our awesome music today, we want to thank the incredible James Taylor, Daniel Namod, Sue Riley, David Pomeranz, Armand, and Angelina. And of course, our music team, and Sue doing an amazing job filling in for Denise, and John on the drums back there, and Marianne and Robin and I on the vocals. All right, for announcements, we invite you to check the e-blast, which has all of these in here. But quickly, our spring and summer dinners are coming up, happening in effect already. Do we have anything? We have one already, right? Yeah? Oh, okay. A couple of them already. Okay, so we need other folks to host these things. So just, it doesn't have to be a big deal, you know, and you totally determine if you just want to have a small amount of people or a large amount of people. If you want to, you know, whatever you want to do. And if you have an idea but you're not sure, talk to one of us. We'll help you figure it out. This is our major fundraiser for this time of the year. Pride is coming up. I got the fingernails and the toenails. You know it's June when I start breaking out rainbows everywhere. Breaking out in rainbows. So this is just a reminder that you're invited to walk with us in the Pride March. And we need more folks to help us at the table. And it'd be great if somebody could help Paco with setup down at the plaza. So talk to me about that. All right. Kay, do you want to say something about this, or Vicki, or who wants to talk about the banquet? Oh, sorry, I skipped one. Okay, same slide as last week. This is just a save the date for Karen Drucker coming up on August 2nd and Daniel Namod on November 8th. So we want to advertise this far and wide and try to bring folks with you. It's a great time to bring someone to our church. All right, the banquet. Save the date. It's going to be Friday, October 23rd. Am I saying what the theme is? Spooky celebration. That gives you a lot of room. So plan on that. That's always a good time. And then this is not something that our community sponsors per se, but a member of our community holds these death cafes every month, and the next one is going to be June 14th, which is next Sunday, right? And it is downstairs from 2 to 3:30, And this month, they're going to be talking about fathers. So you're invited if you want to attend that. You don't have to sign up or let anybody know. It's pretty informal. You just show up. It's a great group of people. They just share from the heart, and they're going to be honoring their fathers. I think that's it. All right, so as we bring our service to a close this morning, we are so grateful. We got some folks visiting from San Jose. It's great to have them with us. We're just grateful that you joined us, whether you're here in person or you're joining us virtually. We just hope that you have found us to be a loving, welcoming community. That is our intention. And we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our chaplain on duty today is Robin. Robin is available to pray with you after the service. So thank you, Robin, and thank you to all our chaplains. All right, before we make our closing circle, let's do our responsive reading for our nation. We believe in the sacred potential of our country and the divine intelligence guiding its path.
We affirm that wisdom, compassion, and justice are rising in the hearts of all people.
In a world that cries out for healing, we listen deeply for spiritual truth.
We open to the wisdom that leads to wholeness for all.
We do not surrender to fear, division, or despair.
We anchor ourselves in faith, courage, and shared humanity.
We call forth leaders who are guided by integrity and vision.
We affirm solutions that uplift both personal freedom and collective care.
May this nation grow in love, unity, and awakening.
And may we each be instruments of peace, justice, and joy.
And all the people said, Amen. Let's form our closing circle. So I have an idea now that it is Pride Month that each week we focus our prayerfulness and our loving, healing energy on a particular group that has suffered from lack of understanding, lack of acceptance, lack of inclusion. So I'm thinking this morning of all of the folks who have been told by the church as they attend that who they love and who they are is not acceptable and that it's a sin. Maybe even they were told they were going to hell. Let's hold these folks in our hearts, in this circle, that they might find healing for those wounds and that we might cease as a race, as a people, we might cease to use religion to hurt people. So holding these folks in our hearts, seeing them healed, surrounded by God's love, protected, lifted up, as we say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We tricked you. We have our own version of that. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator. Can we all agree? Let us walk with each other in